wanna be my friend, you had better go and get a pen. And maybe we can keep in touch like we did in the old days. It wasn't so long ago. And I wish you well.
Now you gotta come in.
Oh,
sign your pen.
No, you gotta come in. No,
fingers.
you have to. You have to sing it.
Okay, that was once for us. You ready?
Terrifying.
You ready?
And
It's all you.
solo. And here we go, solo. Wait, but truly,
This is really
kind of what I
terrifying.
throw out there that is that you're like, I bet if with proper training, Rory maybe could sing.
Yeah, I feel like it's like
Hit the
any
note.
other. It's
Do it, Roar.
it's like any other muscle memory. You just have to do it a
You
lot.
learn how to control
Aimee,
the
some
muscles.
people don't have it at all.
I don't know.
Some people don't have it all. Like some people don't have an ear that can discern
Yes.
like being in tune and out of tune.
And you don't think is it? Do you think they could learn it and maybe sing decent?
Some I don't. I'm not sure. I do
Yeah.
feel like there are people who just like cannot hear that something's out of tune.
Yeah.
I feel like that can't be.
This is what I
like
wonder.
really super common. But I think if
Yeah.
you have like an okay voice, you could turn it into a great
Yes.
voice. Wasn't the whole thing about like Andrew Garfield and Tick Tick Boom that he learned to sing in a year?
No.
Yeah.
I would believe that.
Yeah,
But
he
it's
didn't
remarkable.
sing, and then he was like, "How long do I have? A year? Okay, I can sing.
Okay,
I'll
but
be able to
Aimee,
sing."
you legitimately have a great voice, right? Newsflash.
Thank you.
This
Here's
is the
what I
first
wonder.
that she's heard of this.
Here's what I wonder all the time. Some of our great musicians, don't have necessarily great voices. The music that they write and that their band performs fits the way they sing.
I agree with that.
So they
Right.
sound great. As a person who can like mimic other voices and do that stuff, when I'm singing what I hear on the radio, I'm always trying to match what I'm hearing.
Right.
But what I wonder is,
Who is Daniel?
all the time, and I'm not saying he's a bad singer, but it's a very unique voice and way he sings. Is Bruce Springsteen, when he hears American Pie, is he trying to sing in his car like Don McLean?
You think he sounds like Don McLean?
Not at all. That's my
Oh,
point.
you mean is he
Oh,
or does he
does he
sing the way he
adapt?
sings that
Is he
song?
doing whatever? I was like trying to sing that. And when they
Oh.
go to sing other people's music, it never really matches. Or are they always putting other people's songs into the way they sing? Because I'm constantly trying to
I have
match.
thoughts on this.
I think you have to match. Like I just did a cover, a duet with somebody, a cover of a Steely Dan song called
Yeah.
Dr. Wu. And I had to, but this is also just like the way I learn and the way like music works for me. I can sing my own songs, but it's really hard to sing other people's songs.
Okay.
So I had to match his phrasing exactly. And like, does it sound like Donald Fagen? Like, I don't know,
Right.
but I matched his phrasing exactly because I couldn't really, I don't know, like I couldn't really extrapolate a generalized melody without all the little, Dr. Wu, like
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the little things that he throws in. So I don't know, like I'm on the match it
But
side.
like when if you're in your car, are you essentially doing karaoke? Like you're like, oh, I'm singing their song their way.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wonder this from a musician standpoint. They're like, no, I don't say that word that way. That's not how I would sing that word, so I sing it my way.
I don't know if you're singing along, you kind of want to sing
What you're
their
hearing.
thing.
Their
Yeah.
version.
But I bet it doesn't sound, there are definitely songs that I've sung that where I feel like, oh, I'm really like rocking out, like, and then you listen back and it's like the same old folk. Like, I mean, you put this voice on anything, any track, like it doesn't matter how heavy the track is, it's just going to sound like a folk song.
When you did
Yeah.
your version of the Dumb People Town theme, you arranged it for your style of
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
Rather than like, oh, I'm not going to match that. But we have
Yeah.
had other musicians who essentially do almost a straight karaoke cover.
I think some people just have better ears and are better at that, but like your dilemma, they probably have a harder time finding their own voice.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if I really found my singing voice, it might not be what I think it is. Like, no, if you kind of sing in this register, Dan, you can hit a whole bunch more notes and it's more interesting sounding versus
Right.
like just you're singing in a hotel bar
Yeah.
and you're like, yeah, that kind of sounds like
Now
rocket,
I
man.
really feel like both of you need to take singing lessons and start really
I would
singing
do
and
that. I
and
would
then
do it.
and then we could have this experiment like at the end of a year, see, but like first you have to develop, like there is this sort of tiny muscle memory where you go like, oh, that's what it feels like when I, go from like the chest voice to the falsetto
Right.
Yeah.
on this like on this line, like you're I mean, it's just doing a thing over and over. But then within that, I'm a big fan of what is your speaking voice, and then that just should translate into your singing voice.
I think here's
because otherwise it sounds kind of phony to me.
I think off of that, I think stand-up is like that, where when you start stand-up, a lot of comics are sort of doing an impression.
The biggest fan of.
Whoever but they are doing, in my case, I love David
Sam
Cross.
Kinison. Oh, sorry.
Yep, you're right. And Sam Kinison, David Cross. And I was like doing my material, and I always told people early me sounded like David Cross doing an impression of me, really, because it was him and doing my jokes.
Yeah.
But I think, and maybe this happens in singing too, but I got to a point where I just kind of got tired of not just being fully me. And I think it takes repetition and confidence to shed that armor you kind of put up to go, well, this is how I actually talk, and this is the cadence I would actually have, and this is actually what I really want to say. Mm-hmm. I feel like singing must kind of, through experience, anyone who does maybe sound like someone, and it's not a natural thing, it's like a put-on sort of thing. I wonder if they also get to a point where they go, I'm actually just kind of tired of not being myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we were talking before. It's that it depends on how good you are at it. Like I know people who are really, really good at that, almost kind of imitating other singers. But it's I don't know. Like you take somebody like Billy Joel, who is clearly like has an incredible ear.
I don't know who that is.
But you can tell that, like, from song to song that he's got, there's, like, this is his sort of Beatley song. This is, like, kind of his Steely Danny song. Right. And he's almost too good at it. There's something that's more compelling to me in people who can't get it right.
Yeah.
Or maybe trying for something, but, aren't that accurate.
Yeah. Oh, you would love my singing then.
But I'll imitate other people and it sounds good, but then I'm like, that doesn't mean I have a good voice. Right?
Well, I feel like you can't necessarily do that if you don't have a good voice.
But if I'm singing Tom Waits, and I'm like,
but I mean that's
an extreme example.
Tom Waits, it's like
somewhere there's a life that's worth living, and it's in that
you're making Tom Waits sound so much better.
Don't you dare.
But he's like, listen, I mean,
why are you trying to hug me with your words?
It's inarguable that he has like this like crazy back alley dog growling at a garbage can sort of. Yes, there we go. Yeah.
It's that very like, somewhere.
But even in that, even in your weird facial distortions,
yes,
you are in tune. And
Rory,
your
tone, my fucking moment.
You're controlling your tone, and you're in tune. I mean, that's what a good voice
I can't
is.
Sing like that.
Out of context. What do you want? All I picture is like out of context you singing Tom Waits to Aimee Mann. Like put that up as a clip and be like, what the fuck is going on this show? Zero context. We're like, wait, what is the podcast?
Oh my god! All of a sudden, all of our guests cancel when that clip drops.
I
don't know what the fuck.
Actually, don't need to hear the follow-up letters to
come
the Patreon.
Come to the show and then have Dan sing Tom Waits to you. It's part of the. It's like one of our regular.
It's the initiation.
Threaten me with your good time, but because I feel like when I'm imitating someone, I can hit it.
Yeah.
But then if they're like, you just sing, and I'm like, somewhere, it starts to lose it.
Well, you get very voluminous, I gotta say that.
Well, I'm only show tunes. When it's me, it's show.
Confidence.
Yeah. Oh, hey, do you want to go?
Should we do it?
Wait, hold on. Can we tell everybody before we go?
Yes.
If you have not listened to Aimee Mann's new album, Queens of the Summer Hotel.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. God, that felt good to get it right.
We don't even know our address where people are supposed to send us letters.
Well, we learned that. And then you're going to go on tour, AimeeMann.com.
I'm going on tour middle of April.
Can you say with who? Has it been announced?
Oh, and then, we're opening some shows for Steely Dan.
So you in
April. At the end of June. I think it was only like a week of shows or something. But yeah, me in April.
Okay, and then later on,
and then some Steely Dan.
Oh my
some
God.
Summer Steely Dan.
We'll talk more about it too.
Yeah, and you're gonna fly to and join.
I would do that.
You're coming backstage.
I would do that.
Do you think I won? Do you think that wouldn't happen?
I think you should.
Aimee, would you be upset if like we both do that. We show up. You're nice enough to let us come backstage, and right out of the gate, we just ask Steely Dan to do Ben Pals. She's like, I shouldn't have fucking given these guys tickets.
hounding Donald Fagen in the hall.
Hi, we're
Hey, we
Amy's
do-
friends,
yeah,
and we love her. Will you do our podcast?
And then Aimee will go, fuckers. And then we'll go, Aimee, of course he was going to say no. But could you imagine if he had said yes? And then Aimee will go, that's fair. Because if he had said yes, holy shit.
I'm pretty sure. Has Donald Fagen ever done a podcast? I'm going to say no. There's
I'm
no
gonna
way.
go no.
There's
I'm
not
gonna
a
go no.
chance.
What percentage do you put that he listens to any podcasts? And I'm not saying that as any indication of anything. Just there's still people that I'm like, I bet they're like
There's one podcast he listens to.
NPR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This American Life.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Okay. Do you want to go?
Let's go to the letters. I love this stationery.
Is it?
Is it stationery?
It's adorable.
Yeah.
But is it stationary or
Yeah.
just a piece of paper?
No, it's like a, wait a minute. It's
Don't look at
it's a
the
pre.
crud picture,
No,
though.
did he? Is
I
this,
don't know.
Does
Do you
it
think
come
that's
like
drawn, or
this?
do you think
I
that
think
comes
that's drawn.
No, I don't think it is. I think it goes with the joke of I never forget anything, and he forgot his clothes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you want to show?
It's good. It's naked.
As though
Naked
one
things.
camera isn't the
that's not
same
stationary.
audience. As
Yeah.
though one angle isn't the same audience.
Okay. People over here, ooh, people
Yeah.
who are on this
Oh,
camera.
I can't
ooh.
see it from
We
over
start
where I'm at.
releasing the episodes from just certain.
Yeah.
What camera do you
Who
want to watch?
Are you more of a Dear Rory and Daniel? All right, then we'll give you this angle. Oh, that angle. Dear Rory and Daniel, this camera. Whoops, wrong order.
Yes!
Oh my gosh. We've never had a curveball. That's our first curveball. I fell in love with Dan long ago and finally branched out from DPT to find this gem. And of course, there's more to know, but one at a time, you know? I've got one question for you. Nap or no? No, is it nap?
Nap or no?
Naps? Naps or no?
Okay.
It's a long-standing debate with old and new friends and tends to stir up some interesting questions. Why do some people love it? Some people hate it. Is it hereditary? Power naps? What the heck is that? Personally, I hate a nap, but I'd love to know your thoughts. All the best and good rest. Kristen.
Okay. Can I really quick?
Of course.
Outside of, I'll go 11 years old and under. Who hates a nap? Like, who's mad at a nap?
Well, I think 11 is a generous age. I think you could go like
17?
I think you get to 25 and you go 25 and up, you shouldn't be upset with a nap.
Why would you be?
I don't think teenagers are napping.
It's the nap hangover that
Do you
I
have
think
one?
that I
Do you
think
get
is
that?
being
There's
No
Yes.
way.
Yes.
There's
Yeah.
no way. I read Charlton Heston's, he did this weird autobiography where for 20 years he had a daily planner. And at the bottom of that planner, he would write just notes about the day, what he did, who he saw, what he's working on. And then some publisher got a hold of this, or he with him, because he was still alive at the time. And they just published 20 years of those things. And it's amazing because you're seeing him without any intent write what he said to Elizabeth
Right.
Taylor that day, or they were the first people to get a house up in Coldwater Canyon, and it was like living in the middle of nowhere. And he says in that, he goes, if you are going to work in entertainment and you get to be successful, you better know how to take a nap. Because it's too, your
Wow.
schedule's too over. And he was like, and he even says,
you have to know how to take.
he
a
was
nap.
like, you have to be able to fall asleep whenever you need to because your scheduling and your travel and everything is all over
Yeah.
the place. And if you can't be able to fall asleep other than just going to bed, it's going to be hell on you.
Get
That's
a
interesting.
gun and take a nap.
And
Those
I've
were
always
his
thought
two
that-
stances. Those were Charlton's too.
Sometimes you must be on tour or whatever, and it's just going so all the time that
Yeah.
you're like, I got to take a nap. Or
I
you
don't.
know nap.
I do feel like I have more of a nap hangover. Like I don't take naps unless I'm really, really exhausted, and then it's like I'm already in trouble.
and then
like
that's the night.
the nap kind
It's
of
almost a
doesn't.
pass out.
And also, like it can make my like I sort of like it's hard to warm up my.
That's what I was
voice
going to say too.
after.
You would, if you were going to know, I've got a show tonight at 8. I've got to be there at 7. What time would you have to get up to feel like your voice would be okay? 4 hours prior? 3 hours prior?
Well, I mean, when you're on tour, you're doing a sound check at like 3 or 4
That's
in the
true.
afternoon. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot. Where are you taking a nap backstage?
I think 20 minutes
How
is
lovely are those backstages?
they're
all,
so beautiful,
yeah.
and they're very
Like
comfortable.
your
They're always
head-
the right temperature.
There's always a couch that's clean.
Yeah. And
that is
Yeah.
sized for
Mhm.
more than like 1.5
and
people.
a damp pipe
Yeah.
to lean your head on.
And also, there's never a random person that walks in to grab something and they work there and they don't even
Yes.
say
Right.
hi and then
Right.
they just leave and you don't know if
I
that was a
hate it.
person that works in
hate
the
it.
place or not.
Yeah, there's.
I
a-
also like the times where no one has checked in to see if you need anything because you don't know where anything is, or the times where people keep asking you if you need anything,
Yeah.
but no one's getting you anything.
You're like, I do. I
And then
really
you
would
start
love.
to feel like a monster where you're like, I don't even really care about the water. It's just someone asked me twice if I wanted
Yeah.
it. And I said, sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did say yes.
But if you guys don't have it,
Yeah.
I'll go back to living that life of no water. But if someone does have it, I would love one.
Do you have riders?
I do, and they're mainly in use for like college gigs.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I didn't realize this. I was playing some colleges, and I got to one, and there was this whole buffet of food set out. And I got there, and I was like, oh, I didn't know. I was like, I always eat at a certain time before the show anyways, so I wouldn't have eaten this.
What's your window?
I don't know.
I wanna be done eating an hour and a half before the
Yeah,
show.
somewhere in
That's
there.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be like digested.
Yes.
But I was like, I go, why? But I was like, I didn't know about all this food, but also, what is all this food? And they were like, oh, it's in your rider to have all this food. And I go, oh, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know I had a rider. I guess I should check it out. And then I was like, oh, this only happens at colleges. And so I was like, oh, well, then you guys, you're all college kids. Do you guys want to just take all this food? And they were like, yeah, absolutely. We would love to take. I was like, oh, well, then maybe I'll just leave it because I'll end up at a college and just go, hey, just take this food. I'm flying in a matter of hours.
So you
I
have
don't know
no
what to do
idea,
with it.
no idea what your rider is.
I don't know what's in it.
It's-
Other
so-
than I
but-
know way
but
too
it's
much
not,
food
so
for
it's
one
not
person.
consistent. Like it only shows up sometimes.
Some people
Only
don't
at
even read it.
colleges.
Yeah, clubs
Yeah.
don't give a shit.
I don't
Really?
think clubs are
Comedy
just going to
clubs.
provide what they
They're
provide.
like, we
where
got
they're
hummus and chicken fingers. I don't know what your fucking manager sent over, but
Yeah.
we got hummus and chicken fingers. Am I
Yeah,
wrong? No.
I think my tour manager will make sure that there's.
I love
because
that.
sometimes there isn't food. Like
Right.
sometimes it's a weird club in the middle of nowhere, and
yeah.
I don't really have time to go out and like forage
100%.
for food.
What's on yours?
I think there's always like
Fruit
a
plate.
chicken
I hope
breast
it's
and
absurd.
and some salad, like just
Oh.
to have
Yeah.
something, and gluten-free bread and peanut butter.
Right.
Rolos.
And you know what?
Just for fun.
What I think too is some
Chips
people
and salsa.
Some people would go, and you need that every time? And to which I would go, no. But do you know how the show goes if I don't get it?
Yeah.
Like if let's say I didn't have time to get anything and it's not there.
Yeah.
Yes, there are sometimes when it's there, maybe I can take it with me or I'll eat some of it after the show if
Yeah.
I've already eaten. But it's more about being like, hey, we're going to ensure that by the time you hit the stage, you're in a good...
Yeah.
You've
you're
got
in a
what
good-
you
yes,
need.
you got what you
You've
need.
got what you need
It's like
to
a
make the
fire
show
extinguisher. You don't need it every day, but when you need it, you
Right.
really need
Need
it.
it.
Yeah.
good. Right.
Okay, so do you nap?
I no. I wish that I
Really?
set aside 20 minutes because 20 minutes you can avoid the
Yeah.
hangover, but you have to get up at 20
Yeah.
minutes. And so sometimes it's more like a meditation where I kind of drift off. And I got to be honest, when I get up in 20 minutes, I can't believe it's only been 20 minutes. Like it feels like so much longer. I think it's healthier for sleeping later. Like sleep begets sleep. So I think because I used to say with our daughter, I was like, when we would talk about like, well, do we eliminate naps or whatever? And my wife was like, I go, well, if she doesn't nap, then she'll sleep great at night. And my wife was like, that's not true. If she
Yeah.
sleeps,
Really?
if she gets a nap, she then sleeps better later. It's
I
like
don't
a
understand how
rhythm
that
thing.
works, but I
don't
have
either.
heard that
Yeah.
that's true.
And I've seen it. I've seen it, at least for my kid, be like, oh yeah, when she used to nap, then at night it was easier to get her to go to bed. It was almost like just a pattern and a rhythm that she was in. But I wish I did do it, even just to set 20 minutes aside to put the phone down, to get away from people, to disconnect, to just go inward, even if it's not to nap, to just go inward and sit still or lay down for 20 minutes with my eyes closed and let my mind wander and just try to release any kind of stress and anxiety. I wish I did that. To me, that's almost
Yeah.
like saying, oh, I need to eat better. To me, that falls under eating better. I don't know if it has to necessarily be a nap, but I'm pro naps. I have your problem. If I go lay down and it's 30 minutes, the rest of the day is
Yeah.
absolutely
Really?
You
screwed.
feel
Well,
weird.
because I'm so groggy and weird. It's almost like taking like Benadryl or something
Yeah.
where you're like, you can't connect. When people
Yeah.
talk to you, you're almost like, am I on like a drug? Like I can't.
Remember-
Nothing feels right except getting back in bed and just going back to sleep. That's all you want to do.
I hope we've all had this, but I'm gonna present it as we have. Do you remember when you're a kid? Maybe it's like summertime, and for some reason or other, around 4 or 5 o'clock, you fall asleep on the couch.
Yes.
And then you wake up
And it's dark.
and it's dark.
It's the worst.
And maybe
don't like
sometimes no one's in the house. Like people are like, "Well, we're gonna go get dinner," and then maybe they woke you
were
up and you don't
asleep.
remember.
Yeah.
And you're so out of it, you don't understand
Yeah.
like how time is working because you're still
Yeah.
a kid, and you're like, "Wait, you're 13, 12, whatever it is."
And
you're
also, you're drunk.
Yeah.
like, wildly drunk. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if you're a Van Kirk? That's why you fell asleep. You're like, "Grandma, I can't."
Oh, you
keep
meant passed
going."
out. You meant passed out. It happens at the beach all the time. Like
Yeah.
if you hit the beach early and you're getting all that sun, you're ODing on vitamin D,
Oh,
and then you
you're-
go inside. And if you're
Yeah.
of the age where you've had some drinks on the beach, and
Yeah.
you're like, it's 1 o'clock. I'm gonna lay down. You're definitely out. And then when you wake up, you're like, oh, I'm like more drunk now somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always am jealous too of people who can literally, not in a medical or problematic way, but like nap whenever they need. Like my Uncle Laverne would like just sit there at like a family thing, and like dinner hadn't gotten going yet, and he'd be like, I'm just gonna close my eyes for a minute. And then like 2 minutes later,
But if you're
he's just
if you're
out.
tired all the time, that's easy. But like, it sounds like Charlton Heston's thing is he could just will himself to go to sleep, which I used to be able to do.
Same.
Like I used to be able to make myself go to sleep on a plane,
Yeah.
regardless of circumstances. I don't know why. It was almost like anxiety made me sleepy or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then anxiety, like then it's the wheel turns.
Cycle
yeah.
back.
Yeah,
Cycle
yeah,
to
yeah.
another version.
Yeah.
What else do I need to make myself do in this
Yeah.
life? I think sometimes it's also just, for me, you give yourself the permission, right? Like you were saying, even just laying down, where I go, I'm going to lay down for 20 minutes, and I'm giving myself permission. If I don't fall asleep, I don't fall asleep.
Yeah.
If I do, great. And it's amazing the things that can happen in that context when
Yeah.
you give yourself permission that I can take a nap in, right? Because in the morning, if you wake up and you don't want to get up yet and the sun is shining or somebody's making noise outside, and you're like, well, I'm up. But that same scenario at 2:30 in the afternoon, a lot of sun, people outside doing yard work, I can take a nap.
I know. Well, it's more relaxing in a way.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Oh, when you
Outside.
Where did you grow
In
up?
a hammock.
Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's
And there's
somebody,
like somebody's mowing the lawn.
exactly
Four-
what I was
four-
gonna say.
four
You
houses
hear a couple
over.
And the
kids
sun's
being
not
like,
too
no, my
hot.
turn now.
Yeah.
Like just that.
It's
thing.
really nice.
Oh, it's the best.
Sun's not too hot. There's a little bit of a breeze. You're in the shade.
I need to go to this dream place with you guys.
wanna go to the
Oh, I've
cabin?
never
Yeah.
been. I
You
was
wanna come to
The
the
I saw it on
cabin.
a
Do you have
movie.
a hammock?
Well, you can come before I burn it down. You're more than welcome.
He's
come
gonna
to
burn
cabin.
the cabin down.
Well, my family has a little cabin up in Wisconsin that is like a little shack cottage. Rory and I are someday going to do shows in Madison and then go up to the cabin.
And burn it down.
And
I don't
kind of
want, I
burn it
just
down
wanna
together.
remodel it someday.
Uh-huh.
I just want us to have a nicer cabin.
Right.
That's my dream. But where it's at, and oh my God, when you're laying outside in the summer, there's like a little whippoorwill going off because it's like almost close to dusk.
Can you imitate a whippoorwill?
Mm-hmm.
Please do.
God.
Now is that you whippoorwill or is
It's
that
more of a
just
Tom Waits whippoorwill.
Yeah. It's Tom Waits whippoorwill. Nice.
Tom Waits.
It's like horrible, like some monstrous
Well, that's Tom
alien.
Waits.
It's a
It's
broken
whippoorwill.
lawnmower. It's a broken lawnmower. I just can't get it started.
No, Tom Waits is whippoorwill. Somehow.
The most evolved whippoorwill
Yeah,
that's lived
yeah.
a life. It's
Will
lived
lose
a
their
life.
mind.
It's really lived a life.
Oh, I love that. I don't know why anybody would ever hate a nap. To me, that's might be the most interesting part of this
I'm-
letter.
I-
If somebody,
it
if
does-
somebody's like, I
Nap
fuck
hate.
naps.
Yeah, I gotta say, Kristen, thank you for this letter. I'm into power naps, and it's not that I do them, but I definitely am
Recharge.
into them. It's bizarre to me that someone would maybe hate it, but I think it's very healthy. Just like a lot of things we could all be doing to be a little bit healthier. I think realistically, just taking time to yourself and just getting away from some conversations and some noise and some, whatever, and just going inward. That other universe that's in there. You're paying attention. You got to pay attention to both universes and go to the other one, not just when you're, going to go to sleep at night, maybe during the day. Just kind of, step inside and be like, what do I think about stuff? What has bothered me already?
no,
What
okay, I
was
can't.
good about the past
I'm not
4
napping
hours?
now.
What?
Well, if I start going inward and being like,
No.
what do I need to? Oh, you're wild. You're meditating.
I don't know if I'm doing anything.
Okay.
Yeah, that's more like the to-do list, and that's not relaxing.
Oh, you don't like the
Yeah.
to-do list?
Yeah, the before bed to-do list. Like, what have I left undone in my life?
Oh, you don't like the old covered bases list? Did I get them all? Did I check all the boxes?
You don't like hitting the amend step right before you go to bed? Who do I need to write
Yeah.
this with?
Oh, you don't like going to bed with your last thought being, what did I say to him that kind of set that off? Kristen, thank you so much for this letter. We appreciate it, and we wish you well. Sincerely, your pen pals, Rory Scovel.
Daniel Van Kirk and
Aimee Mann. Aimee, how do I do the tone? It's not possible, right? Yeah. Aimee Mann.
That's pretty good.
Terrible. I'm terrible at imitations.
he also has good banter.
I
Oh,
would
he's
imagine
funny,
he
right?
has really
Oh.
good
Yeah.
banter.
There's one album where he goes, I'm so horny the crack of dawn, better watch out for me. And I was like, ooh,
Wow.
I know.
Who's the funniest musician?
Steve Martin.
Well, does that count?
It
Does
doesn't
it?
count.
I
Who's
think
the
maybe
funniest
it does.
Person who's primarily known as a musician.
Who started in
You're
that?
going to hate me for saying this, but you are very funny.
Thank you.
You
I
are.
don't hate that at all.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
But not the
Up and
funniest.
leaves. Like, "Jesus, I thought it was
You
nice."
knew. You knew before you said it. You
I
walked
asked
out.
that for you to say someone else.
Yeah, you're very funny.
Thank you.
Who is a very Dave Grohl?
Is he?
Dave Grohl's.
I mean,
very
he's got such a
Really?
good personality.
Yes. Yeah. Dave Grohl's very, very funny.
Like on stage banter funny or in
On stage banter funny, and also creatively, like the stuff they've done with them. And now they have this big super campy horror movie coming out that's based off a story from the band where they were recording an album in a very haunted house. And the movie is based around that, but then they took it to like a million times
Right.
camp level. But yeah, he's very, very funny. As soon as we get done with this, I guarantee. Who do you say is like, oh, what a funny musician, other than yourself?
Ted Leo is very funny.
Ted Leo is
yeah,
very
he's
funny.
really funny. He's really good banter. Milk Carton Kids are very funny.
Yes,
Yes,
they
actually,
are really funny.
that might
Yeah.
actually be
Tenacious
to me.
D
That's
is
the
kinda
funniest.
funny.
Yeah, thank you.
joking.
How
Reggie
dare.
Watts
How
is
dare.
really funny.
God, very angry.
Yeah, Milk Carton Kids. I've only seen them live once, and
Weird Al, pretty
so
funny. Hate myself.
We don't.
Daniel, it's all on.
Okay.
This one's on you.
Hey.
Oh, we do some plugs,
Plugs.
but I guess we. I mean, I don't. I always have the same.
I would
same
say-
shit for me.
I would say if you can tell by looking around, we've brought it up a couple times that you and I are we built this ship and now we're steering it together. So
Yeah.
everybody who's listening can just keep helping us grow the show. Rate, review, subscribe, follow on YouTube,
Help
and
us out.
Instagram, and just tell people in your. If you like this show, share it. Don't keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Go to danielvankirk.com for tour dates, and then also to find out when I'm going to be joining Aimee on tour. Not performing, but I will be while she performs. I will be there.
Yeah.
And then
Singing backstage.
you have no idea. Peg,
Live mic.
P19. I don't care how problematic that is.
Can I have a real question.
Hey 19 just makes the cut.
Just.
I know.
Agree.
I know.
Agree.
I have a real question. Would you ever, and I'm not saying to ever do this, but would you ever allow someone like me to just have a guitar that's not plugged in
I wish I
to
would've
be
asked this
in the
question.
band, just so I can feel what it's like to be in a band? And I'll play the 3 or 4 chords that I know how to play and pretend as though I'm there, and no one would even know. I wouldn't even want it to be me. I would cover up. I've asked several bands this.
I mean, just for the ridiculousness
just
of it.
be there,
yes,
because
like,
honestly-
Can I
definitely.
be on stage
Definitely.
with a working mic while you sing and be like, someone save her every time you say save me?
You're hyping it. You're like hype man.
Or can I be like, you can't help them now. You can't help them now. And you're like, we got it. We're telling them they can't help us.
constant
I
looking
want,
to the board like turn.
I
him
want
down.
you and Ted singing it while I'm just hyping it up.
We had this is a long time ago. I had a roadie named Spider.
Perfect.
And Spider, one time at soundcheck was playing tambourine, and he was like really good. Like it's not that easy to play tambourine to really make it sound good. There was a lot of songs that had tambourine on the record, so we were like, well, let's mic up Spider, sort of, in the wings, and and he can add tambourine, and then that mic just inched show by show closer to the stage until he was on the stage, and he was the most enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Just like
It didn't fit.
Oh
It
my
didn't
God.
fit anyone else's
oh
vibe.
my God, not at all, not at all.
Oh. Did you have to take it back?
I think we had to have a talk.
Spider, I think you
Yeah,
got us in
Spider.
your web, and we gotta break free.
Yeah.
I'm such a F2F like face-to-face person that there's a part of me that enjoys that. Like, hey, buddy. So the reason we gave you a mic is
You would like this. You enjoy these conversations, this sort of confrontational.
doesn't it feel good
I hate
to
them
know
so much.
exactly where you stand with somebody?
So, yeah, it does. It's hard to get there though.
But I love
It's
it.
hard to
and
get
so I
there.
would love and then to be able to do it well and know that this is going to be effective, and you start out with just the most wonderful soft kitten gloves, and you're like, hey, the reason we gave you the mic is because I don't think there's anybody better who could do the tambourine for what we want on that sound. But the thing is, it's more the sound. Like if you had said, well, I'll do it, but I have to be on stage, we would have told you, oh, that sucks, because we kind of need to keep the aesthetic that we have for what people are coming to expect.
Yeah.
But if
Boy, he's so gentle.
I know
But
that's what you're
if-
I
breaking
need
someone.
to-
If
I
you're
feel-
breaking
I
someone.
feel
if
like
there's a world in
this
which
is the show
we
that
can keep you doing the tambourine, because it is literally crucial to how great it is, but not have you on stage.
And the amazing thing is that you've just implied that tambourine will go away entirely,
right.
and that you're giving him the choice.
Yeah.
If there's a world in which we can have the tambourine but not have
Right.
your
Well,
crazy
of course
antics.
we want that.
Yeah.
Of course
Yeah.
we want that. We just have to keep like how it looks.
Yeah.
Or
Did you ever see Boogie Nights?
Yeah.
Do you know
favorite?
John C. Reilly, when him and Mark Wahlberg are in the studio?
Yes, and he's
It's-
dancing.
It's based on Spider. Yeah. That's
No.
influenced by Spider. Yeah, because
I-
Paul came to see a show
Oh,
and Spider was on stage and he was like,
I have to use
I
I
mean,
can't
it's-
even tell
yeah.
you how this makes me feel. I love this. I love this so much. I mean, it's like one of my favorite movies. I love it. I love it so much.
That's so good. And to know that came from a real place
yeah,
and a real
oh
person.
yeah. Not exaggerated.
Do you think that? But let me
And
ask
then
you this:
the
would
crazy
you go
thing-
to Spider and go, "You can stay out here,
No.
but you are at a 10,
Nope.
and we need you at a -43."
No.
No,
Because
He's
what
like he's in roadie black.
yep.
It's just like a totally
No.
No, it's not the.
and
yeah.
he can't do it without really
He has to
digging
feel it.
in.
He's
Yeah.
gotta feel
because
it.
he was one way or another, he was moving like that backstage.
Yeah.
So that's what he's bringing to
Yeah.
the table to do this.
Yeah.
It's just a distraction.
Yeah.
It's very
Like,
it was
no matter
very
how
distracting.
good the cables are run to make the movie great, the gaffer can't be on screen.
Yeah.
Can I ask
Yeah.
a question? The
Mhm.
first time when he really was
Given
seen
it. Yeah.
and was really getting into it, were you like playing and like it wasn't a moment where you had to sing and you like stepped back and you glanced over? Was that then you like kind of caught eyes with the other members of the band? And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
drummer's just like,
I know, and we all were like, I don't know what to do now. What do we do?
I hate those situations.
But he
so
did
much.
eventually. Yeah, I mean, I must have said something
You have
because
to.
he.
You have a
because
show
he,
to do.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Right. Right. I can't.
Get
It can't
back
be
It's
there.
this
quite
show.
literally
Yeah.
your name on the show.
Right. We got somebody Sudeikising
Yeah.
it, like in What's Up With That,
It's exactly it.
right? And he jumps on too.
That's exactly it.
And also, I would love if when you talk to him,
Spider.
he's going the whole other way. He was like, "I hear you. I was thinking about working the egg in even more." And you're like, "No, I'm
no,
not
I mean,
that."
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
All
mean,
right.
he was really. He used to call me Mom. He was from Worcester.
Yeah.
Can I call you Mom? Oh boy.
No.
Spider. No.
Like Spider.
Do not
Hang
call me
on,
Mom.
there's so many things happening in Spider.
Amy, rest of our friendship life. You ever need any? I'll go F2F for you for whatever
I
you.
can't. I mean, the wheels are turning. I'm already
Happy
like
to
this.
do
And
it.
is-
also from this point
yeah.
on, I actually like it if you called me Mom.
Yeah, I'm going to.
I get to the show and you're like,
Yeah.
can you talk to Steely Dan for me?
Yeah.
Because here's an issue I'm having.
what
I was
I-
like, you got it.
Yeah.
You're just suddenly repping her. You're like, oh, I'll talk to him. And also, I think I can get us in New York City. I want to talk to you. It's a venue. Go do your thing. Go do your thing. Go do your thing. We'll
was
talk
good.
after you.
Writer was good. The writer was
Yeah.
good. Okay, let's do this.
My favorite thing is when someone talks to you before a show and they go, "Oh my God, I have to tell you something." But go do your thing. Go do your
No,
thing. Go do your
I-
thing.
oh.
And you're like, "What do you? What?
No,
Why did you just
I
do that
hate
to
it.
me?"
no, this is.
I hate it.
Did you hear? You know what? I'm going to tell you later. I'll tell you later. It's wild, but I'm
I
going to
hate
tell
it.
you later.
Yeah.
You're like, cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, also follow Real Aimee Mann on Instagram. The sketches.
Oh, thank you.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yes.
my Amy.
So
you.
great.
I know. Content's not that interesting, but the drawings are great. I love them. No, I love it. I can only say that because you know I
Well,
love it.
also because the drawings aren't that good.
I think they are. I
disagree.
think they are good.
I disagree.
I think they're good.
Draw the spider story. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. Dearest cackling idiots, King Rory and Emperor Daniel. That's horribly wrong. This is my first time writing to you. That's obvious why you did it wrong. And I'm a penny who is having fun becoming a paler.
Mm-hmm.
I have a family issue that I need to get off my chest that has been eating away at me for a while. I am a man who loves his family dearly, and I do everything possible to make their lives better with everything I do. I live by the simple motto, you get back what you put out into the world. You only get what you give, and try to live as positively as best I can. I know. We have a weekly ritual of seeing my wife's family, her parents, and brother and sister-in-law. We host these get-togethers more often than not, and also have family up to the lake house multiple times during the summer. I did not write this, friends. The problem I run into is that her parents often reciprocate meals and watch our kids, where my brother-in-law and sister-in-law do not. They rarely ever host us or pick up the tab on any of the takeout meals we get. I won't bore you with the details here. I'll add them below to be used as you please, as I'm doing my best to keep this short. Honestly, this is not about the money. It's more about the gesture of appreciating when others have treated you by returning the favor. Yep. The question I have is, how do you inspire someone to return the favor and not continue to make it weird? Truly yours, your friend, Stu. P.S. The details, here are the list of gripes. Weekly.
I like this.
One
yeah.
of these is a
List of
gem that
gripes.
we could just
He
talk
wanted
about.
to leave them out, and he's like, you know what?
You know
I
what?
need to.
P.S. Postscript.
I have to get specific.
Weekly at our house or our parents' house, they order meals, never contribute or grab tab. When at the lake house, they often use the boat while not offering up any gas money. When at the lake house, they often just show up for dinner, do their own thing the rest of the time. When at the lake house, he eats out of the ice cream carton directly and puts it back.
Oh, boy.
Rory, sit down. I know. I told you one of these. Roar. One more. One specific time, I made tacos for dinner. How novel. I made tacos for dinner, which they don't like. Red flag. So they made chicken for themselves and refused to share it with my 5-year-old daughter, who saw it and her eyes lit up, stating they only had enough for themselves, even though they had over a pound of chicken cooked.
I
I mean, this is a pretty good case for asshole relatives. Like,
yes, I would agree.
The pound of chicken, Jesus Christ.
That you can't give any to a 5-year-old.
A 5-year-old. Like, how much is a 5-year-old going to eat? Like,
Exactly.
Like
I'll tell you what,
2
they're
ounces?
going to eat half of whatever they take.
Yeah.
That's how much
right.
the
Yeah,
5-year-old's
yeah.
going to eat.
like 4 bites.
Yes.
Yeah.
How good does Spider's dancing feel now?
It feels
Now you're
pretty
like,
good.
Spider's
Yeah.
a goddamn angel.
Yeah. Feels pretty good. Wow.
So,
I
Amy,
mean, I was gonna give them a break because
I was too.
Because sometimes, like you go, I don't know, sometimes like people don't really know how to host, or they feel awkward about it, or their house is a mess, they don't want to have people over, or they feel awkward about offering money for,
Sure.
the Zanku chicken
Sure.
you've got. And like, so, if we have people over and we're doing that, kind of takeout-y thing, I don't expect people to pay,
Right.
even over and over and over. But the lake house antics, and like, I'm sorry, if somebody's making you free tacos, just take your free taco and shut
Right.
up.
Or if they're contributing everything and you are putting something literally also onto the table, you don't get to.
You have to share it. Like, that's
With
crazy.
a child who is
That-
5.
I mean, that really tears it.
Yeah.
And the ice cream carton thing is like, oh, come on.
You know what gets me is gas in the boat. also.
Oh, really?
Oh my God.
I
that
could.
drives me
I mean, I
insane.
could see.
It's expensive.
I could
But
see
then don't
just
use
you
it.
don't
Then
you
don't
don't
use
think
it.
about it.
No, that's what I mean.
Right.
You're making it expensive for someone else.
Right.
And you don't pay for
So
food.
this is my initial.
I am like
You're not paying for anything.
I am so I don't know any of these people and I'm so angry right now.
Yeah. Well, here it's it
Can
is.
you? Do you have to invite them? So what is it?
That's
it's a
what I wanna
brother.
know.
It's
Yes.
a brother-in-law, or
yeah.
it's a.
So it's the we
Don't invite them
We have a
anymore.
weekly ritual of seeing my wife's family, her parents, and her brother and sister-in-law.
Oh.
So this guy, it's his brother.
So it's not even this guy's
No, but
like,
he's tied into it. He's-
intimate family,
Right.
and it's
his married
weekly.
infants,
Like
it's
weekly is a lot.
That is a
That's
lot.
constant.
That honestly blows my mind.
That's
To even want to be around family.
That's
that
really
often.
a lot.
I love my family, but weekly we would all be like, let's pull it back.
See, I know quite a few families who get together every week for dinner.
And they're probably doing way
Whether
better.
it's Shabbat or in like at
Yeah.
least Chicago Italian families, a lot. I dated
I mean,
into one for
I
a
don't
few years.
object
was
to it,
every
but
Sunday.
like it is a lot. I mean, you would think that this person would.
That's a lot of
I
money.
don't know. I think you have to do something like texting the guy and saying, "Hey, we're tied up. Can you pick up some Zanku chicken and brand? I don't know why I keep
and they're
hawking Zanku
well,
chicken.
Zanku chicken.
Yeah.
And
We
you're
have
sponsored
ads.
by-
Can you
We have ads that play during the break, but you also have your own.
you have a
sponsorship
running
Yeah, I
ad.
have my
sort of
own-
get You're out like
yeah.
you tell people like I'm not currently doing a podcast, but I will advertise your show on the podcast. I do.
And
I'll
if you
advertise.
guys,
Yeah.
if you guys want to see Aimee live, just go to AimeenMann.com, sponsored by Zanku Chicken.
Slash
and you just
Zanku
see
slash delicious.
Zanku.
it is very good.
If you use the code word delicious, you'll get 50% off a ticket.
I'm gonna tell you guys something.
I mean, I think you have to shove them into it a little bit. Like, hey, we're really,
Well, when they go,
we're
you know,
really
we
running
can't.
behind. Can you please pick up
And when
a
they
couple?
go, no, we can't.
Say like, well, we're not
Because
gonna
they
be
got
able to.
they got face to face. They got F2F'd.
Yeah.
When they said, "Hey, my daughter would love some of your chicken," they go, "No." He says refused.
That's his niece.
I think
Yes.
That's his niece.
I think you have to accept him as a freeloader, and
think so.
and just like
or
know
not
that
accept him as a free.
that he this is what you get. I mean, I think you can try the like, hey, do you mind picking up some pizzas on the way over?
Right.
And if you don't get results from that, then fucking stop inviting him
I
all
think
the
so.
time.
Here's what I
have a whole
Take your-
plan.
take your
Tango
par-
lore.
I
take your
think
parents
you gotta
out.
hit it head on. You gotta take the guy out for a beer. Not even the sister. Set her aside and just go. Look,
Why
I'm
not her too?
You could, but
Oh, because of his
because
ice
he's the
cream
man.
habits.
Well, no, I think you have to. I think
the
with this
man.
particular type of a confrontation, I think it's worth it to separate them and just take the guy out. Just go, or just take her out. Just take one of them. You look them in the eye and you go, I just got to put this out there. We do all this,
Right.
but then you don't do anything,
Right.
and I just need to know, like, in your mind, are you thinking that that's okay? Because I need you to know how it's perceived.
He's probably thinking they love
Yeah.
hosting.
I would have role played. I would have role
They
played with you right
enjoy
there.
hosting.
Yeah, and I would have
I'm
gone.
doing them a favor by eating free food.
I would have gone. Yeah, obviously it's okay. That's the way it's always been.
I know. I go.
Well,
it's
that's
not,
the thing.
and
It's
it's
the
not
way
how
it's
gonna
always
be.
been. You have to
Then you
ask
gotta
for
drop
money.
the hammer.
So
You have to ask for it. Would you face to face? You would
know
say,
what's a little odd about this? As much as I love a good F2F, like I will sit Spider's ass down.
yeah,
Part of me is that I would go. I've said this a lot. I believe in the golden rule,
yeah,
and oftentimes your role is the second part. You're treating someone how they're asking to be treated.
yeah.
And so I would probably say this: Hey, babe, wife, once a month, we'll still do we'll take care of
Yeah.
everything. Every other time, I'm just gonna start telling them it's BYOB. So if you guys want any steak or any chicken, you got to bring your own thing.
Agree.
Yeah.
And then,
Who owns the
and then if they're
boat?
like, if they show up and they go, we didn't have time to get anything, like, oh shit, well, what do you guys want to do while we're eating?
Yeah.
And I don't give them any.
Yeah, agree.
And then I even conspire
Hard
if
line.
I'm in cahoots enough with the parents to go, if anybody asks you where you guys picked your burgers up, you just don't tell them we brought them.
Right.
Because I let that. I also do the other thing where I go, they're like, hey, we're gonna take the boat out, and be like, actually, we're using it today.
yeah,
And then maybe I don't use it at all.
yeah,
Like I kind of start giving them the relationship
Yeah.
that they're asking for.
agree.
And
what was
Yeah.
the parents' role in this? The parents would
Sometimes
kick them some money back.
The other thing too is like when they go to, I have a rule.
The parents are probably complicit too, because the parents are probably
100. You don't see a
still
part in here.
thinking their son,
Yes.
Yeah.
like
Yes.
that they should buy food for their son. The
Right.
son is super entitled and they're being enabled by everybody.
When if once my child would be denied food from their own family,
I don't know
That's
how
kind
that
of the
didn't.
end of it.
I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know how that
No
ended
more lake
because if that
house.
was Elliot and like that situation happened, I would go. So she can't have some of the chicken that you guys made because you guys don't have enough. When you do have a lot, but you don't have enough. But I just want to double check that she can't have it.
Right.
There's no way that. I mean, I'm sure we don't have the full story, but there's no way that interaction right there isn't the big bang of now it's all going to be
because
out there.
in that
Like,
moment,
there's no
Right.
as soon as that happens, I go, I have 12 things I need to say to you right now, and I actually would like I'm glad that everyone's here because I want to say it out loud, and everyone here can now decide, do you think I'm crazy or do you think I'm right? And I would go, here's the list, and just go down. The boat gas, it doesn't pay for itself. Everyone wants to use it, we all contribute. Right. You don't. Ice cream. Everyone wants
Come
to
on,
eat some.
man.
You know how disgusting it is that you eat it out of the carton and then you put it back.
Well, it's also
You're
their
not a
house. Like, it's
Neanderthal. You're
you
not
know.
a child. Like
Right.
I would have to just unleash. And at the end of that, I would go, if you don't change, then my portion of the family, we don't do this anymore.
Yeah.
We won't be doing this anymore.
Yeah.
If you don't change or stop coming, I need you to know it's crazy. You're crazy.
we
You're
had a thing,
crazy
guys.
person.
We had
Yeah.
a thing at the cabin.
I am fired up.
We had a thing
I
at
kind of
the
want to
cabin.
fight the guy now.
I know.
Don't.
Yeah, you need to talk to the guy.
We had a thing
but
at
I
the
think he's
cabin.
right. I think everybody's enabled him, and the fact that they're just expecting him to be different is kind of enabling. Like you have to either say you have to say, hey, I need you to start kicking in some money for these meals.
Yes.
That's it. I don't mind paying for half of them, but I don't want to pay for all of them.
So like growing up, we got the cabin for like an insanely like cheap amount of money. I'm not anybody who listens to this podcast regularly that knows that I didn't come from much.
Well,
so
we
it's
find
just-
out. This is where we find out you're insanely rich. You're like it was
Yes.
$2.5 million.
Yes,
It was
we-
nothing.
We eminent domain. We got to deal with the city and ran these people out of their property. But we had this place, and growing up, we would have a thing where one set of aunt and uncles would have a cooler in their room, and that was some of their food and like some of their soda and beer, and then like other people in my family started doing the same thing, and it was like, hey, don't drink that. That's Uncle so and so's. And I remember as a kid, it racked me with stress of like whose is whose and what's what.
Right.
And so when I became an adult and got into my late 20s, I remember like ripping this down with my family where I was like, here's the deal. If you bring anything to the cabin, it's for everyone.
Right.
And if you're mad that someone ate all your goddamn Munster cheese, guess what? We're going to go get more.
Yeah.
But I'm done with this whole like,
It
that's
separates.
mine and that's
Right.
mine. I go, bullshit. Now, look,
Right.
Yeah.
if it's your own house and you want it to yourself, don't invite me over.
Yeah.
But if you're at the cabin, everything's for everybody.
Yeah.
People are like, well, what are you going to do when you show up and your Jack Daniels is gone? I go, I'm going to go get more Jack
Yeah.
Daniels.
Yeah.
I left it there. It's for everyone. So I am such a like, we're doing all this.
Right.
Same thing. I remember when in my like early
This is
30s,
what you say when someone goes, "What are you gonna do when you show up and all your Jack Daniels is gone?" You're gonna go, "I'm gonna go to the person or people and say who drank the Jack Daniels." And when they say I did, you're gonna go, let me go get more. Now that I know we like the same thing,
Right.
let me drink it with you guys.
Right.
I won't be like, "Hey, I'm mad." Instead, I'll go, "Oh, we have some common ground. We like the same booze."
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. People, well, this is mine. I'm like, well, then what do we? Then
It separates.
let's get
Because
our,
I think you get a guy who brings his own chicken, cooks it,
Well,
and won't
that-
give you any.
But that
To a
is,
chi- to
and you're
a
right.
child
That
is
is
the
when I
worst
start
part.
treating it the
Yeah.
other way,
Yeah.
where I go like, oh well, and I would like Rory. I would go, well, you've made it very clear you have no interest in doing anything communally. You do things that benefit you and allow other people supplement your wants.
They
and
don't even
needs.
hang out
Yeah.
with
So,
everybody.
so we just aren't going to feed into that anymore.
Yeah.
No, pun intended.
Yeah.
So you didn't bring barbecue chicken. You don't get any. But
Yeah.
that's how you want it to be, right? Because
Yeah.
if you're the only person who brought barbecue chicken, you wouldn't want me to have any.
Right. Yeah,
Just
yeah.
tell me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then the other thing is like I remember in my early 30s, I had reached a point where I go, oh, I'm never going to a dinner again where I don't have the money to pick up the whole tab.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than it gets there and you've had a great meal and people start being like, I didn't really eat that much of the appetizer.
Oh, I
hate
hate
it.
it.
I just go, just give me the
I
fucking
hate
thing.
it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not. And people go, you're gonna pay for a little dinner? You're like, no, I'm paying to make sure this is a good time.
I'm paying for the privilege of
Yes.
not having to listen to people say like,
Yes.
well, I only had half the salad.
Yeah. But yeah, you would just say, you were pulling it aside and being like, hey, let's meet up for a drink.
Yeah.
I don't think that's wrong at all.
Yeah.
But part of me would want to just start going, well, you didn't want to. So no, we
Yeah.
didn't
I
bring
hate,
anything.
yeah, I think I hate expectation. I think I hate it when in a situation, and I'm willing to bet a lot of our listeners aren't like this, probably on the other side of this, but when there's an expectation of like, let's say in our personal relationship, no, every time Daniel's like, let's go grab a bite, he always pays. So I just let that happen.
Yeah.
Whereas over time, it wears down in your mind where you're like, I just want Rory to offer to pay, like what you're saying
Yeah.
about like if you have people over, and just like offering to pay or do pay. I just hate it when, well, Daniel paid one time, and then I did try to give him some money, and then the second time he didn't let me give him money, and so from then on I just never did it again. I
Right.
never even offered money. I offer something every time, and here's why I say it: you don't know how fun you were during the meal.
Right.
Up here,
very
you play it
funny.
back, and you're like,
Yeah.
I crushed. Did you? Maybe
Yeah.
offer to pay and
Did
find
I?
out.
Yeah. Did I pay my way through entertainment?
Yeah.
I'll tell you this though too. I don't care about. Yeah, I'll reveal a personal thing. When I was in college, one of my best friends, Bradford, was in the Navy, and so he was making money, and I did not have any.
Mm-hmm.
And one night we were back in Rochelle, drinking, and Brad told me this years later that someone that we had known from high school was like, "Why are you paying for Daniel's drinks?" And Brad was like, "He's got no money. He's in college." And the guy was like, "I don't know. I wouldn't do that." And he was like, "Well, I know that
You're not.
someday when there was reversed, he's going to cover me." And the
Yeah.
guy was like, "I doubt that." And then sure enough,
That guy was right.
in our
Man.
mid-20s,
Brad.
in our mid-20s, I'm out of college, and Brad has finished his service, and now he's in college, and for 2 years, I paid for him.
Yeah.
He never added up the tab.
Yeah.
I never added up the tab because it was, and this is what's missing most for me in this letter, it was gratitude.
Yeah.
And
Of
being
course.
like, I don't care. I got you. I know the situation. We communicate.
Yes.
If this guy's going through like a super hard time, like Dan Aykroyd in Great Outdoors, where he keeps letting Chet pay for things, Chet pay for things because Roman has no money, then he would go, communicate that, and maybe you'd go, oh, that's what your deal is, but
It doesn't
in a
sound,
vacuum,
yeah, it
no,
doesn't sound
not
like
at
what
all.
the deal. It just sounds like
just sounds
he's a person
shitty.
who's never had
Narcissism.
expectations
Yes.
that he will think of
Inconsiderate.
other people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this so much.
Good luck.
Man,
know.
you guys got
Good luck
fired
every
up.
Sunday or whenever it is.
Man, every Sunday.
I could not see that guy.
Every week.
I go, how about we do once a year and you come out? Why don't you come out once a year?
Will you guys come
We
over
could
to my
afford
house
you guys
once a week for Zanku chicken?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
You know that we
once a
do
week.
that.
You're paying.
We
it,
just
right?
said we would fly across the country
Yeah.
to go watch you perform.
I didn't just say it. I committed it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to do it.
I mean, I hope they don't have backstage COVID restrictions.
Oh, well, they might.
They might.
But either way.
Why? Because
We'll
then
find
no one
out.
can hang out with the three of us back there?
We'll find out. Yeah. But I mean, we'll never see Donald Fagen in the hall. Like he's going to be like, "Don't make eye contact with me, guy."
If
Amy, you're going to think,
if they allow
just getting to
backstage,
see you do the show and then Steely Dan also, what's bigger than a win-win?
let me throw
Like,
this
when-
out there. We do fly. We are able to go backstage.
Uh-huh.
And how about every show we leave your dressing room to go look for him actively, aggressively?
Just knocking on
Yes.
every door.
Donald!
Yeah. Donald. 20.
We are good at the tambourine. We don't have to be on stage, but we are good.
You find out they're like,
You
Amy,
could pull a spider.
Amy, you were doing 1 week of shows with them. You're out. They want you out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't invite clowns with you
Yeah.
anymore.
Those
Don't bring
two guys.
clowns on tour.
I don't know. I don't know who those two guys
You
were.
have no
they didn't
idea
have
how
a
much I'm-
backstage
They're bad
pass.
for you. Amy, those guys are bad for you.
I can't wait to see the two of you backstage.
Oh, 100%.
It's really very exciting.
It's happening.
Yeah.
I can't speak for him, but he can't speak
Yeah.
for me, but I'll be there.
Well, I'll probably get to be on stage based on your promise.
Yeah, you'll fake play, and then you'll play the tambourine dressed all in black,
Spider.
sort of halfway in the
Dressed
wings.
as Spider-Man. Dressed as Spider-Man.
No, that's too
And
far.
only the OG true fans are like, I get it. This is when they had to
even
kick
deeper.
Spider out
I'm
of the band.
dressed as Michael Imperioli's character from Goodfellas, who played the role of Spider, who was kind of a roadie in that scene. He's going to get engaged. Okay. Stu, we love this. I hope you, like everybody else,
Good
is
luck.
going to get Queens of the Summer Hotel, wherever you can listen to music. Start doing it right now. Go see her on tour. Go see me on tour. Go find Rory when he goes back on tour. We wish you well. Sincerely, your pen pals, Daniel Van Kirk,
Rory Van Scovel.
And Aimee Mann.
I just pulled this right out of my ass on camera. I was like, oh, shit, I got it.